Hey y'all, it's Scott Bach-Hansen, Director of Congregational Care and Adult Discipleship here at Herndon United Methodist Church. And I'm so glad you joined me. Today is Wednesday, March 2nd of 2022, but more importantly, today is Ash Wednesday. And so during our weekly video check-in series where we come to you and we talk to you about what's going on in our church, what's happening in our community, maybe things that are going on in our lives, today is a really special day. What really is Ash Wednesday? Like what are we doing here? Like what are we celebrating it? What's I don't get it. Why is it falling on this Wednesday? Why is it always on Wednesday? So many questions. So let me see if I can help answer that. So each year, Ash Wednesday marks the beginning of Lent. Okay, so we've heard about Lent, and Lent is always 46 days before Easter Sunday. Wait a minute, Scott. I thought Lent was 40 days. Well, it is. Lent is a 40-day season, but we don't count the Sundays. This marks the repentance and fasting, reflection, and really the celebration of Jesus. And we're celebrating that Jesus spent 40 days in the wilderness being tempted by Satan, and he he turned down Satan, he fasted, and it's a time for us to reflect on the commitment that Jesus had for us. Lent asks the believers to set this time aside each year and also have some similar fasting marking this intentional season of focus. So we're focusing on Christ's life. We're focusing on Christ's ministry, his sacrifice, and ultimately the resurrection. And what we're going to find out during this 46-day or 40-day period is that we're going to be tested. And there's ways that we can test ourselves. So when we hear that we need to also consider fasting, that can mean something completely different. It's not fasting from food. We're not talking about that. I mean, certainly that can be something that you do, but it could be something different. It could be fasting from social media, fasting from news, it could be fasting from something. Pick something that's important to you. Maybe you're a diehard hockey fan and you're going to fast from watching all hockey games during Lent until Easter Sunday. Now, that's a goofy example, but it's an example. So there's an opportunity for us to be able to either fast from something that's important to us or take on something new. And so, like we had talked about last week, one of the things that we can do new is we can go into Lenten Series and be able to talk about the different ways that we find opportunities to take on just being closer to God. And so there are a number of devotional series that end up coming out. Okay. And so these devotional series are meant to be able to help people get closer to their faith journey, be able to look at things. So again, I shared this last week. This is the one from Wesley Theological Seminary, and very excited that I am one of the ones that got to put something in here. But this is one of the devotional series. We're doing one also, and these are the Psalms that my Lord has made, and so the Psalms that we're going to go through, these devotionals are created by other pastors and academic people all across the U.S., mostly in Northern Virginia, but it's just a litany of really good people that are involved in ministry in some various capacities. Our own Pastor Jonathan is one of the people that has written in here, so I think that you'll enjoy being able to be part of this Lenten devotional series. There are other things you can do as well, and if you have your own group and they're studying, that's fine. Each Sunday, starting March 6th, so coming up this Sunday, after service, we're going to have some tables down at the far end of the gym at Doe Fellowship Hall, down by where the kitchen is, and we'll have those tables set up just to be able to reflect and talk about the devotional series and where we saw things, what spoke to us, and what helped us. So yeah, a lot's going on. So one of the questions that we frequently get is why do we put ashes on our heads? Like, what? I don't understand. Why do we do this? Well, the ashes of this holiday, especially for us going into Ash Wednesday today, it symbolizes two main things. First of all, death, and second of all, repentance. Ashes are equivalent to dust and human flesh, and it was how we were composed and created as human. We started from dust, and that's out of Genesis. You can look it up in chapter 2, verse 7. And so when we pass away, and we are past, and now it's time for us to return to dust, or we return to ash. So that's why when we put the ashes on your forehead, that's why we say, "From dust you rose, and from dust you shall return." So really important for us as Christians. It's a reminder for us to just make sure we have some things, just some dates. Again, today, Wednesday, March 2nd, is Ash Wednesday. Palm Sunday, also a very important day. This is the day where Jesus has entered Jerusalem triumphantly. On one side, the Romans have set up shop with horses and soldiers and the equivalent of tanks, and here comes Jesus riding in on a donkey. So we'll learn more about that on April 10th. And then we have Holy Week, where we have things that will be happening all week going on, and we will be leading up to Easter, which is going to be on April 17th. So we have Monday, Thursday, we have Good Friday. There's Holy Saturday, too. We'll talk more about that as we get closer. And then Easter Sunday. So there's a lot of things that are going to be happening during this time of the year and this season. So I hope that you'll find opportunities to be able to connect and be able to enjoy this Lenten devotional series and this season of just being able to learn, being able to get closer to God, being able to just take time to reflect. This is the holiest time of year. My mentor, Ken Jackson, who again was an associate here at Herndon, he used to say, "We are Easter people." And with everything going on in the world today, there is nothing more important right now than for us to be Easter people. Pastor Jonathan just talked about being witnesses and renewing our commitment to the church and to each other. And so there's a lot of moving parts when it comes to that. We have lots of different things that we can get involved in. But being witnesses and being able to help others going through their difficult times, we're praying right now for the people of Ukraine. And by the way, we are probably looking at a new wave of refugees coming from the Ukraine to the United States, similar to what happened with the Afghan refugees. And so we are trying to get prepared for that, to get ready for that, to see how we might be able to help, to host, to be able to feed, to do whatever we need to do to help those that are fleeing from the Ukraine to be able to come to places like the United States and seeking refuge. So, a lot going on. I'm really excited about tonight. I am leading the worship service as far as the sermon goes. I am going to be preaching on 2 Corinthians. This is Paul's second visit. Well, it's really his third visit, but we won't dilute it with anything. But in Paul's first visit, it didn't go as well as he would hope it would go, and didn't get really the reception that he thought he would get. And so when he left, he didn't really plan on coming back, but God has pushed Paul that the people of Corinth, the people from the church of Corinth, are so important that you need to go back. And so this message that you're going to hear and you're going to read about it, this is from 2 Paul chapter 5, and we'll probably go verses 13 to chapter 6 of verse 2. And so this is talking about how the people of Corinth realized they made a mistake with Paul. And so they've invited him back, and now he's returning, and they want to reconcile with him. But Paul's saying, no. It's not about me. You need to reconcile with the big guy. You need to reconcile with God. And if you reconcile with God, there's salvation for you at the end of the road. And that's what this message is going to be about. We're going to be talking about, have we ever had relationships that maybe failed, or something that we wish could have gone better? Well, maybe it's an opportunity for us to reconcile. Maybe it's an opportunity for us to be able to rebuild that relationship, rebuild that friendship, be able to have opportunities to be able to reconnect with people. And that's what is happening here. Paul is saying to them, as ambassadors of Christ, we are here. We are here to be able to come back to you and say to you, reconcile with God, and you shall see salvation. You will receive it, and God will have you in his arms. What a great promise that is. So I hope that you'll be able to join us this Wednesday night tonight for Ash Wednesday service. And obviously, there's a lot of different things going on in the church. We saw the letter from the Healthy Church team, as well as we got lots of mission projects that are starting to kick back up, and we're starting to look at different ministries. What a great time to be part of Herndon United Methodist Church. And I hope that you'll agree, and I hope that you have thought about last weekend's service and thought about renewing your relationship not only with Christ, but also with the church. And I'm so happy that I'm part of this great community, and I can't wait to see you. So hopefully I'll see you tonight. If not, maybe to see you this weekend. But I just wanted to say that I hope that this day is a blessing for you. So God bless.